What's up everybody, Azario here and welcome to another Yu-Gi-Oh! 101 discussion video. And in this video I'm going to be explaining the differences between the way the card game is played in the anime versus the way the official card game is played. One of the biggest mistakes I see a lot of people making is that they watch the anime, and this happens more so to the new people that are coming into the game. They watch the anime and they get the general idea as to how the game should be played, and then they bring that exact same knowledge to a T. Like, they follow the anime to a T when it comes to the rules and what you're able to do, and they bring that to the official card game, and they find out the hard way from a lot of these snot-nosed, I don't know what to call them, these snot-nosed elitists that, that really just, snap on them and don't think that, okay, maybe this guy is new, maybe this girl is new, this person is new to the game. They don't really understand it that well. So instead of me, taking my knowledge that I claim to have and teaching them how to play the game properly, I'm going to just get mad at them and I'm going to try to run them off. You know what I mean? And this video is basically just to help separate the two identities, I guess you could say, that is known as the way the game is played in the anime and in the Yu-Gi-Oh shows versus the way the official card game is played, and to clear up some of that confusion. Now, one thing you have to understand, in the Yu-Gi-Oh series, all the ones that you see here, as well as the new one, Arc 5, even though they only have one episode of it, one thing that they always do is that they try to make the series to help the viewer understand, or to give them a general understanding as to how these new summoning mechanics work, how the game is supposed to be played, but not everything that they do is supposed to be followed to a T. And another thing is, a lot of people have some crazy expectations when they play the same cards that the main characters that you see before you, as well as many other people in the series, in their respected series that they come from. When they play these builds that those characters are using, they just expect certain things to happen, and they don't understand that, hey, the official card game just doesn't work like that, because we living in reality. So the first thing, the first biggest mistake that I see people doing in Yu-Gi-Oh, and this pretty much started around the first series of Yu-Gi-Oh, is that people think that you can normal summon a monster in face-up defense position. This is something that has been done in Yu-Gi-Oh for years and years. However, in the official card game, that cannot happen, unless by some card effect that allows you to do so. You cannot summon a monster in face-up defense position by default. That's one thing that you have to understand. Monsters cannot be summoned, normal summoned, in face-up defense position by default. When monsters get summoned, they get summoned in attack position, face-up attack position. Or you can set a monster in face-down defense position. That's the two options that you have off the jump. Now, after that monster has been summoned in face-up attack position, like the turn after, you're able to switch it to defense position. But that's one of those mechanics in an anime that gets confused with the official card game, and I think that's one of those things that really needed to be cleared up. Another thing, and I didn't believe I was ever going to run into this, because I felt that people just understood, and of course I never seen it being done in any of the animes, but I think this needs to be said anyway. Last year I ran into a guy who was so confused with the card game that he actually thought that tribute summoning and normal summoning were two different things. Now, technically, they are two different things, but they're considered to be normal summons for that level of monster that you have to tribute for. For example, in Yu-Gi-Oh, monsters that have levels 1 through 4, unless stated otherwise, which would be in the card text, you can normal summon them without any tributes. You can normal summon them, or you can normal summon them or set them without any tributes. So, but understand that you're only allowed one normal summon per turn. You can special summon as many times as you want, but you can normal summon only once per turn. So that's another thing. And monsters that are level 5 to level 6 only require one tribute, meaning that it's still considered a normal summon, but a tribute summon is a normal summon for monsters that are level 5 and up. So that still counts towards your one normal summon rule. Also, and I need to say this, of course, for all the new people, monsters from level 5 to 6 only require one tribute, meaning that you send one monster to the graveyard. And then you have monsters from level 7 up to level, I would say, 9 that require two tributes. Well, from level 7 and up, I'm gonna just say it like that. Now, certain monsters, they require 3 tributes, but that is a summoning effect that would be stated in the monster's card description itself, so you would know. But by default, any monster from level 7 to level 12, they take 2 tributes, so it would take 2 monsters. Now, getting back to the topic on hand, another mistake I see people making, and it really has nothing to do with just playing the game, I guess you would say. It has more so to do with the expectations of what they play. And this even happens these days. You have some people that play this game that think just because you play a certain something, that just means that you're automatically going to win every time. When they do this in the anime, obviously they're trying to picture the main character, winning a lot, just for him to have his downfall, and then for him to learn new powers and things like that, just to get you emotionally invested into the character. And I'll see a lot of people, they take those character builds, they play them, and then they just think that, that they're supposed to draw this card at a certain time, or they think that they're just supposed to, win just because this character wins, the majority of the time in the series. You have to understand, in the series, they're trying to make the character the main attraction. They're trying to make the main character the main attraction. All the focus is supposed to be on this individual. So, of course, they're going to win most of the time because they're trying to get you to see or get familiar with the main cards that they're trying to sell to you in the official card game. And of course they introduce new things over time, yada yada. So that's something else. Don't come into the game with expectations that you get from the anime, because you will be thoroughly disappointed most of the time. Of course there's always like the luck of the draw, things like that that can aid you, things that really you have no control over. Maybe it's just your time to win, we call it destiny, call it fate, call it whatever. It is what it is. Lastly, another thing that I see people making a mistake with in comparing the way the game is played in the anime to how it's played in the official card game. And I don't even think people notice this, but I ran into a couple of people that have actually done this, and it's actually laughable because you know that you can't do anything like this in the official card game. But then again, somebody that maybe knew, who only watched the anime and don't really understand the official card game, I guess you can say, I guess at the very least they have an excuse because they don't understand the card game at all, the official card game at all. So I wouldn't be surprised if they did it. But for the people that have been playing the game, you know, for at least for like a couple of months, you should know better than this. But I've seen it happen a couple times. There is no such thing as like a special draw or like a shining draw or anything like that. You know, especially, and has been like prominent in Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal more than the other three. I believe that they did it in, you know, so like Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, but I'm not too sure because I haven't seen the anime in a while, in years. Cause, and yeah, like there's no such thing as like a special draw or anything like that's just granted to you like that. You have to understand that again, they doing that for anime purposes only. You know, that's not nothing that you can carry into the official card game. So don't get confused with by what you see in the anime and what you can actually do in the official card game. Now, I understand a lot for the new people that come into this game, you know, they sometimes they run into assholes. And when you try to find out new information or some information about the game as to how you play it, you know, just last week, just this past week, somebody asked me, you know, like about normal summoning or like about no, not about normal summoning, but about uh, you know, like they didn't know the difference between a regular attack and a direct attack. You know what I mean? And they thought that these were like two different separate attacks and that you can do a direct attack and then you can attack again. You know what I mean? And it's that simple stuff that even though it's simple to us, it's not simple to them because they're new to the game. They're trying to learn. And of course I had to sit there and I had to explain it to them that, hey, a direct attack is, you know, each monster only gets one attack per turn unless specifically stated otherwise by a card effect. A monster can only get one attack per turn. So if a monster gives a, you know, if a monster does a direct attack, that goes towards that one attack that they had that turn. But ultimately, it's up to you whether you want to attack one of their monsters or whether you want to bypass all that with the monster effect or another card effect and attack them directly. So hopefully this clears up some of the confusion. Again, you know, there's no such thing as like a shining draw or a special draw that you get in the official card game. You can't summon a monster in face-up defense position by default. And also there isn't a difference between tribute summoning and normal summoning. Tribute summoning is normal summoning for the monsters that are level 5 and above. So hopefully that clears up any confusion for the new people. If you know somebody that is having trouble understanding, you know, these little things, please guide them towards this video. I hope I can be of some help. You know, I'm always willing to help somebody. You know, I've been playing the game since it came to the United States back in 2002, and I use that experience to help people learn more about the game, especially if they're new, because people want to learn about the game. And I know a lot of people, they run into a lot of assholes, they run into a lot of elitists that are being dicks to them when you're just trying to learn the game. Because hey, at one point everybody had to learn the game. Nobody is just a natural at learning something. You know what I mean? You may pick up on it faster than other people, but you had to learn it because you didn't know how to go about playing the game. And I'm more than willing to help. So if you have any questions in regards to Yu-Gi-Oh or anything Yu-Gi-Oh related, please ask me, and I will be more than helpful in helping you guys out. So with that being said, thanks for watching. Peace, and I'll see you guys next time.